Hi everyone, welcome to our 7th ASE general meeting. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes? Alrighty. Again, like our other general meetings, please make sure to sign in using the QR code on the screen. If you cannot access the QR code right now, we'll also put the link in the chat box in case you are viewing through your phone. But we will be doing a giveaway at the end of towards the end of the announcements, and we only choose people who sign in through this QR code. So make sure to do so. And we'll give it some time before we get started. Alrighty, so again, for those of you who just came in, welcome to our 7th ASE general meeting. Please sign in through the QR code on your screen. And if you cannot access the QR code because you're viewing through your phone, you can also sign in through the link sent in the chat box. But other than that, we will also have the sign-in sheet on every slide throughout the presentation. So feel free to sign in later as well if you cannot do it right now. But with that said, we'll go ahead and get started. Next slide, please.
Hello, everyone. Check out our new newsletter for fall 2020. It goes over our last semester achievements and has some info regarding upcoming events. You can scan the QR code on screen, go to that link under it, or visit our LinkedIn to check it out.
Hi guys, I hope you guys are having a great semester so far. For those who are joining us for the first time or haven't done so already, feel free to join our membership this semester. It is free for you guys. So just scan the QR code there and it'll take you to the link. And also for weekly updates, they check our weekly newsletter that's sent out every Tuesday and Thursday. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the semester.
Hi everyone, so we're going to be continuing our Q&A ASE office hours this semester. It's a great way to meet other civil students, especially since we're in a virtual format, and have any questions you have about ASCE or the industry answered. We are hosting them on Tuesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. and the Zoom ID is there at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at the email below. And we are also hosting a student mentorship game night. We'll be playing virtual games such as Scribbly and Among Us, and prizes will be given to winners who do attend. It's going to be hosted tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. with the same Zoom ID. Definitely, if you have a mentor or mentee, I definitely recommend coming with them. And it's a great way to spend some time with each other, relax before midterms start and the semester starts getting busier. And I'll drop the link for registration in the chat. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So this is, oh, go ahead, Jackie. You can take it.
Hi everyone, sorry, I'm having internet connection issues, but we want to invite you guys to the Student versus Faculty and Alumni Blue Carpet Awards. Come join us for this year's virtual battle versus alumni and faculty. We're going to have a dance-off, some guessing games, and more fun activities.
And this event will be hosted on Friday, March 19th from 6 to 8. The Zoom ID is right here and the QR code there for RSVP, as well as the sign-in link is also attached in the chat. Hope to see you all there.
Hello, everyone. So we will be hosting our first ever student leadership workshop in collaboration with CSUN, Cal State Long Beach, and Princeton University. So it's going to be on Friday, March 5th from 5 to 7. You guys could register using the QR code there, and then just some examples of the workshops that we're going to be offering. how to be an effective leader, organizational multitasking, and then the importance of great working relationships. This is going to be a really great event for you guys to meet people from other student chapters. So we hope to see you guys there.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It is my great pleasure to announce that the Chi Epsilon Job Fair is finally tomorrow. Again, it's going to be on a virtual format held on Handshake, and this will be a great opportunity for those of you looking for your first internship or for the graduates looking for their first jobs. Again, we'll have about 26 companies registered for tomorrow, and the link will be provided right there on the QR codes. Again, it'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And for those of you who are available tonight, we will have Chi Epsilon will be hosting a career fair, prep social event via Discord. Come join us and prepare for the job fair. Again, that'll be tonight, February 18th from 5 to 6 p.m. Feel free to contact me for any questions or concerns that you have at the email below. Thanks.
How's it going, guys? I'm here to discuss the Donald G. Wells Memorial Scholarship. This is a scholarship in honor of Donald G. Wells. He was a faculty here at Cal Poly and a big member of the civil engineering community. The application has been open. It's still open for the rest of the CPP Scholarship Fest, which ends on March 2nd, I believe. Yes, and it's one $3,000 scholarship that will be awarded.
Hi, everyone. You may have seen an email come out for the ASCE President-elect at Cal Poly Pomona this morning. This will be an event, a great opportunity to learn more about the ASCE President-elect, Dr. Truax, about his career and involvement within ASCE. It's going to be on February 25th, next Thursday, from 12 to 1:30 p.m. If you use the QR code there, you can register and also learn a little bit more about Dr. Truax. I'll also be providing the link in the chat.
Hi, everyone. So this semester, our ASCE student chapter is collaborating with the Poly Pantry. And so to participate in this community service opportunity, you can donate to the Amazon wish list that the Poly Pantry has already made to help donate. And once this is done, you can send in proof of the donation using our Google form, and you can earn 5 membership points towards your ASCE total points.
Hey everyone, your conference chairs will be hosting a Scriblio and Stop Us tournament to find students in the civil and construction departments to represent our school at PSWC. This event will take place at Friday at 6 p.m. of next week. Make sure to practice beforehand. I will be posting the link if you're interested in the Zoom chat here below. We also have scholarships available for PSWC. There are 2 scholarships available, one technical and general scholarship, and there are currently $25,000 available, and Gio will talk about the requirements.
All right, you must be a full-time student, an ASCE national member, and a registered PSWC participant. And the application deadline for the scholarships is Monday, March 1st at 11:59. All right, and then for PSWC registration has already begun. By registering, it gives you access to all the events in PSWC. And you need to, there's also a release waiver that you also need to fill out along with the registration. And then you need to fill out both the CPP and the UCLA forms. And on a side note, there's still room on the design build competition. So they're still looking for members. So if you're interested, please email us at the email at the bottom of the slide. And the deadline for registration is February 26th. And the date of PSWC is going to be the 25th through the 27th of March. And it's free.
Alrighty, hello again, everyone. So ASC LA section will be doing their first ever Life Member Forum Scholarship this year. Check out the Civil Engineering Department newsletter that was sent out earlier today to apply. And to apply, you must be an ASE member in good standing at the time of application. And also, if you do receive the award, you also must be a good standing member then. And then you also have to be registered as an undergraduate or graduate student in the fall of 2021. And the application deadline is 5 p.m. by Friday, March 19th. And ASECI student days. So the Construction Institute of ASCE will be hosting this event again this year. It's an annual event, And so if you attend, you get to test your knowledge and prepare a bid package with your team, as well as develop a written and oral real-world construction project proposal. And you also get to network with potential employers. So it occurs from July 30th to August 3rd, and as of now, it is still said to take place in Denver, Colorado. And the deadline to apply is Monday, April 19th. You can apply using the QR code on the screen. And if you have any questions regarding this slide or the previous slide, you can contact me at cppaScepresident@gmail.com.
Hi everyone, CPP will be hosting a virtual tech tour of Arawak Dam in Boise, Idaho. You'll learn about the history of Arawak Dam, and you'll also be able to see it yourself through a pre-recorded virtual tour. And there'll also be a Q&A session with Michael, who is a power plant supervisor and has been working with the dams in Idaho for 10 years. So please RSVP by March 1st, and it will be on March 3rd from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Thank you.
And you may have seen this email as well, but SteelBridge has moved from Slack to Discord. You can use that QR code to join to learn more about team updates and opportunities to get involved.
And so once again, we are having another general meeting giveaway. So please sign in if you haven't already. The sign in again, to sign in, the QR code is on the screen, and then Stephen also put it in the chat box for those of you who are unable to scan it. And again, we'll be choosing 3 winners today, and you'll be sent your prize via your CPP email following this general meeting. So we'll give it some time for people to sign in if they haven't already, and then we'll go ahead and get started with that. All right, Matthew, if you could switch your screen to the little raffle generator.
And then Stephen, how many participants do we have?
Currently 40.
Okay.
So number 27 is William Say, I believe. So congratulations to you for that. And then number 15 is, that's an officer. Number 35 is Raina Lee. Congratulations. And number 39 is an officer. Number 17 is Amanda Lee. Congratulations. And you all should receive your gifts later on today through your email.
Perfect. Thank you, Matthew and Stephen. Congratulations to all of our 3 winners. If you didn't win this general meeting, that is okay. Again, we'll be doing this at the rest of our general meetings for this academic year. So stay tuned for that and make sure to attend.
All right, and without further ado, please help us welcome our panel members for the past, present, and future panel. Virtual claps everywhere. So how this is going to work, each panelist will go ahead and introduce themselves, touching base on their past, present, and future, and then we'll go ahead and open up the floor to questions for students to ask our panelists. So we'll go ahead and start in the order that's presented on the screen. So Ravi, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much, Marion. I'm really glad to be here as a past alumni. Thank you all for having me. I'm Ravi Shah. I'm a project manager with Mark Thomas in Southern California. actually a graduate, class of 2008, so CPP alumni. Very happy to be here. Very impressed with everything that you guys are doing, by the way. I don't think my ASE meetings look anywhere as organized as your guys does and as fun. So besides the free food, which you guys can't do nowadays, it's definitely exciting to see what you guys are doing at ASE and keeping things going and strong. And we certainly appreciate that as an active ASE member myself. So a little bit about me, just my past. I interned at Metrolink and at HDR when I was in my undergrad. I was also involved with ASE and Chi Epsilon. I saw the job fair flyer come up from Chi Epsilon. I was actually the job fair chair when I was in Cal Poly Pomona. So definitely hits home. I know it was a great event. So highly encourage all of you to go out and get an internship while you're in school. It makes it that much easier to get a full-time job when you're done. My last quarter of the year at Cal Poly, I didn't need any more credits, but they had this awesome opportunity to go to Egypt for a study abroad. So I did 4 weeks in Egypt as part of my last quarter at Cal Poly Pomona, which was really, really awesome. If you guys ever get an opportunity to do something like that, once things resume in person, I definitely encourage that as well. I ended up taking 6 weeks off to go travel both Egypt and Europe after I graduated. So again, I always tell people you'll never get a block of time as long as you need when you're working full time, because there's always something to do. So I would definitely encourage, if you guys do have the opportunity and the means to go out and travel after you graduate, take the time, enjoy it, and work will be there when you get back. So a little bit more about me. I've been in the industry for about 13 years. I manage a team of about 8 people. I've got about $400 million in projects that I manage. So pretty large projects in Santa Barbara, the 101 widening all the way down to the Port of LA, and even here locally in Orange County. If you guys are familiar with any active bicyclists, I work on a couple projects in Orange County along the OC Loop, which is a 66-mile bike loop around Orange County. A lot of fun doing what I do. I love what I do. Part of my responsibility is not only managing my team, but bringing in new work. In terms of COVID impacts, because I know that's one thing that you had asked about, Maren, I personally and our team have not seen any impacts to COVID, at least on the transportation side. Things are continuing to remain strong in the industry in terms of workload. Again, on the transportation side, we've actually continued to be hiring during COVID. So things all appear to be going well, and part of that is helped by SB1 funding and all the other funding that's come in place. Even though there's been slowdowns in other funding, generally there are a lot of priority projects that people want to see get constructed and see done. And part of that is also helped by the Olympics coming to LA in 2028. So all very exciting stuff. I'm also very involved with ASCE. I was the past president of the younger member group back in 2012 and 2013. And so I worked my way through the younger member group. I just finished my presidency last year with the branch with ASE, and I've recognized many of you from different meetings and events when we could meet in person. So it's great to see all of you so heavily involved. So, I've got very little duties left with ASE right now, but I'm always remaining active and highly encourage all of you to do the same thing. I did see a little plug for CI Student Days. I've actually been involved with that for a few years in the past, and I would highly, highly recommend if you have any interest in construction. It is a rigorous 2 to 3 day weekend, but it's all paid for and it's amazing. So I would highly encourage, if you do have an opportunity, to make sure you apply for that program, especially for an all expensive paid trip to Denver, right? So, and then just personally, future goals and any personal advice that I would have, just really quick. My wife is pregnant, so future goals for me is we're really excited about our upcoming daughter that we're having. So it's going to be a completely different environment for me in the next 6 months, but we're super, super excited about that. The advice that I would have for you guys is 2 things real quick is just be in charge of your career. I've gotten as far as I have in my career because I really decided to take it by the horns. If I want something, I ask for it. Don't ever be afraid of what you want and what you want to ask for, within reason. So just make sure you do that. And then the other thing I would recommend is just show up. You know, every day I would show up in the job, I would do my job, and I would always ask for more responsibilities, ask for other projects, and I would just put my best foot forward. And I think that's helped me along my career a lot in the 13 years that I've been in my career. So, you know, those are the two quick pieces of advice I'd have, and I'll pass it on to our next speaker, which I believe is Natalie.
I think Brian might have been next.
Yeah, order side, whatever. Thanks,
Sorry
Ravi. That's so funny. I lost my train of thought for a second. My wife is also pregnant, so if you see me run out of the screen, it's because we're doing about 10 days, so I could get a call any moment. So if I have to run, then that's it. But just kidding, it shouldn't happen. I really appreciate all the congrats, thanks, and congrats to you, Ravi, as well.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. So, hey, great to be here. Ravi mentioned it. I'm always impressed sitting in on these meetings, and I have opportunity to sit on a lot of the meetings, both the officer meetings and your general, being the younger member practitioner advisor for your guys' student chapters. So you always impress me. It's great to see. I'd love to give a little bit of past, present, future about myself. I'm also a Cal Poly graduate, class of 2015. I still live locally. Even further back, I'm a Northern California guy, but I've been down here since about 2010. I live locally, work locally. I've interned at one company called SWT Engineering, and I've been there since. So I'm about 8 years into the industry right now. So I was going to mention something, but now I'll mention it now since I just said that. I've only worked one internship and had one job through my full-time and part-time career. But what I was going to mention to you earlier about past, present, future is I really hone in on ASC, and I really think that professional relationships is one of the biggest advantages of ASC, especially as a student and a younger member. When you first start out in industry as an intern or as a new graduate, it just seems that a lot of people tend to switch jobs, and really you start to figure out what you like, whether it's within transportation or maybe from company to company within the same industry. I really think that ASC is such a great network, and it's such a platform for networking opportunities with local and like civil engineers like yourself. So I'm a really poor example of that, but I bet there's a lot of hands in the room, or a lot of people in the industry who have switched jobs many times. It's very normal, especially in our small industry. So since I've been a student in the past, and with my involvement with the ASC student chapter, and now with the younger member forum, something I really tend to focus on is harboring relationships and professional relationships. And especially with COVID-19, I think it's so important that you remain involved. You lose the connection in the classroom and the passing in the library. ASC is such a good platform. So as a student in the past, I did that, and we did a lot of things in person. It was great. You still have the opportunity to maintain that. And presently, I'm managing projects for a small company called SWT Engineering. I currently always recruit from ASC and from Cal Poly Pomona. You'll see me there often at all the job fairs, especially when they were in person. I was there. Like a lot of us in the industry that are local, we recruit, and having ASC not just on your resume, but being at these events is a really big thing for me. So I think you guys, as your president, should really focus on continuing your involvement with ASC. Future goals, yeah, like Ravi, my first daughter's on the way, so that's some good future stuff for me. But ASC side of things, I'm trying to stay involved as the San Bernardino Riverside, the YMF practitioner advisor, as long as your student chapter will have me. I love being a connection from the students to the younger members. Younger members are typically 30 years and younger. Again, a really vital part of your career and development. And I'd love to keep harboring that for you guys as student members, and for our younger members, to bridge the gap between student life and professional society. I'll pass it on to, I think, Natalie next. That's a little bit about myself.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to be part of your general meeting today. My name is Natalie, and I work for KPFF in downtown LA, where I'm part of the land development group. I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona in 2017, and during my time at Cal Poly Pomona, I was really involved in clubs. I was an officer for ASCE all 4 years. I went from freshman rep to community service chair to president to alumni golf tournament chair, and then I was the president of CAIEP in my final year too. So I'm really happy to see all of the great things that are going on at CPP ASCE, and some of the events that I had a hand in helping found are still continuing, and you guys are somehow coming up with even more great things to do. So I've been with KPFF for 4 years since I graduated, and while I was a student, I had an internship with Atkins North America, and that's all of my engineering related experience. So right now I work as a project engineer and project manager at KPFF, depending on the project. As a project engineer, I get to develop plans for things like grading, utilities, and paving, and I do a lot of design work. And then as a project manager, I delegate work to younger engineers. I coordinate with other project team members, and I have a greater role in kind of interacting with our clients every day. And I mainly work on projects in LA, Riverside, and Orange County. In terms of COVID impact, I mentioned I work for KPFF in downtown LA, but I'm not there right now, obviously. Like many other professionals, we're working remotely. Our office has about 130 people, and I would say 5 to 10 of them are actually going in every day. Everyone else is working remotely, but we're doing what we can to stay connected. But I really miss working in the office because my coworkers are really great people, and working in downtown LA is really fun. And it can be hard working remotely because it's hard to find a work-life balance, and I sometimes have trouble shutting off work at the end of the day because, like Ravi mentioned, there was no slowdown in our workload, and I think I'm even busier now than I was pre-COVID, which I'm really grateful for. For the future, my number one personal goal right now is to get my PE. I passed the 8-hour exam about 2 years ago, and I just need to take the California exam. So hopefully that will be done by the end of the year. And I'm also hoping to buy a house by the end of this year too. So those are my personal goals. What else? Oh, advice for future engineers would be to pursue something that you're passionate about within the field of engineering or within the field of civil engineering. You know, what class has been your favorite and why? I think my favorite class was hydrology with Dr. Fairbank, and I'm grateful that I get to do that as part of land development. I would also say to get involved in a club, and I mean, you're here, so that's step one, you're done, but also try to go above and beyond and be more than just a member. Being an officer is a really great way to develop communication and coordination skills because you have to send emails, you have to attend club meetings, you have to give announcements and speak in front of people, you have to plan events and things like that. And all of those are really great things to be able to talk about in a job interview or at a job fair, which plug, I will be there tomorrow with KPFF. I think I have one slot open right now, but my boss, Danny, will also be there, and he has about 8 slots open. So you should sign up to talk to us. And over to...
I believe Jason is next.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can we hear me? Have you heard? Hello?
We can hear you, Jason.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. It froze there for a second, so wanted to make sure. So for me personally, my background comes from a bunch of different things. I used to actually design and build pools from like 2001 to 2004. And then I went into civil engineering, land surveying, different companies. Then I actually did railroad engineering and design for Orange County quiet zones and San Diego quiet zones. So I have a vast background in engineering and land surveying and things like that. From that standpoint, I actually got my contractor's license while doing that, and then got laid off in 2010. Started my own construction company. Beyond that, I then had to close down my company due to back surgery. So then I went back to school to Mount SAC and got my associate's degree, 2 architecturals and 1 in construction inspection, and then transferred over to Cal Poly. So I actually graduated in 2018 with an urban and regional planning degree with a minor in GIS. I tend to utilize all of it present day because I work for KWC engineers. So I get to do engineering, land surveying, planning, all as part of my job. Right now, my main focus that they have me on is doing 3D surfacing from drone topology, and then doing planimetry with the drone features as well. So I also get to do land surveying, and then I also do a lot of the planning specs for specific plans. So I get to write all the specs and then hand it to the other engineers in the office to complete the rest of the project. So I get to see the front end and the back end of everything, so which makes it nice to know where the project goes throughout. So I am an engineer designer for the company, but they have me all over the place. So it's good and bad, I guess you could say. I would say that the best part about it is I get the opportunity to try new things. So everything is kind of new and refreshed all the time. So for my future goals, I definitely want to get my PE. I'm also looking at getting my planning certification as well, to have both of them. What I would give for future advice is, for those of you that don't really know what you want to specialize in, is to try different things, try different companies, try things that you like to do. So I have the luxury of loving to do construction and engineering, but I kind of fell into them as I went. So trying new things and trying out how they work made a difference for me. So, and then the impacts that we've majorly had for COVID is just everybody's basically at home, but we actually never stopped production. In fact, we've actually hired 5 people during this time. And we have more contracts now than we did a year ago. So.
Thank you for sharing your stories, everyone. It was really insightful. And I realized that all of you are from different disciplines as well. So that would probably bring to the floor a lot more questions directed toward backgrounds and disciplines. So if any of the students have questions, please feel free to put it within the chat. You can unmute yourselves, raise your hand, however you'd like. But I'll go ahead and start. And this is maybe a question just for everyone in general, but what would you identify as your key motivators? And maybe just a brief statement, or 2-3 sentences from each panelist, and then we'll get rolling here with opening up the floor.
I can go first. For me, it's always just, I'm very competitive. So I just always want to be the best, right? And so to me, it's my own internal drive. It has nothing to do really with anyone else, but I want to do the best. I want to provide the best for our clients. I want to make sure that I'm providing the best for the community and the projects that I'm working on. That's just, part of that service attitude. I think that's why we all become civil engineers. You like the technical, but you want to do good, right? And so that's my personal drive.
I love it. That's why I'm in the private industry still. I want to compete and win, kick some ass, and I love it being in private industry, be able to do that. Something maybe relevant to you students, I got licensed a few years ago, but when I first started working, one of my biggest motivations was getting my PE license, and it really drove me to perform at work. I know your work performance doesn't have anything to do with your license, but performing at work and performing at home, studying for those licensures was a really good motivation to be in the industry and get my experience that is necessary. So maybe that's something that's relevant to you guys through your E.I.T or your future PEs.
For me, I really thrive off of being challenged and feeling like I'm part of a team. And I totally get that culture at KPFF. And that's what drives me every day to walk over to my dining room table and sit here in front of my computer and get work done.
I would say for me, my main motivators is wanting to be the best at what I do, but also understanding how it comes about, how it's built, not just lines on a screen or, you know, actually knowing real world how to build it and what goes into building it. By knowing how to build it, you're better off on being able to design a better street, a better utility system. But to actually physically go and see it and how it's built is definitely a motivator for me. I also have a 6-year-old son at home that is definitely a push to get me going on things as well. So congratulations to you two on having your babies come. It's definitely a different experience. So I figure I graduated while having my son as a 3-year-old. So it was hard to get through school with having the extra baby around for sure.
So it looks like we did get a question in the chat from Leilani. To become a PE, what is your guys' advice to study for the exam? Hopefully on the, excuse me, hopefully on the first try. So I'm not too sure between Brian, Ravi, and Natalie who had taken the most recent one, or if you have any tips, tricks, as far as your advice to study for the exam.
Yeah, I mean, I just took it April 2019 and I passed it on the first try. I signed up for an on-demand class called EET. I forget what EET stands for, but if you Google EET, PE exam prep, I'm sure you'll find it. And I did a session for the depth and the breadth, because the breadth is the morning exam and that covers all of civil engineering. And then you pick a specialty for the afternoon, and I did water. And when you sign up for EET, they'll send you this really thick binder that has a bunch of great material and charts and practice problems, worked out problems for you to look through. And the great part is you can bring those in with you to the PE. Another thing would be the Civil Engineering Reference Manual, which is like the Bible of civil engineering. It has every formula, every definition you could ask for. And I know I got like 2 or 3 questions that I wouldn't have known if I didn't have that. So those are my 2 pieces of advice. And do a lot of practice problems. A lot of practice problems will help you because you can tackle them quicker.
I can chime in. I mean, I passed my PE back in 2011, so it's been a while, but I think information is still relevant. You know, I agree with Natalie, a lot of practice problems. I know I crammed a week before the exam, and I just hammered out, you know, tons of practice problems that entire week, and that really helped me both for the E.I.T and the PE. What I would also recommend is definitely signing up for a course. I saw Dr. Fairbanks mentioned ASCE offers classes. I believe when I did it, I actually took the Cal Poly Pomona offered classes as well. So I was able to do those in the evening. Those are fantastic classes that were offered by Cal Poly Pomona. So I ended up, you know, making the drive for that. The other thing I'd recommend is units. Always check your units on whatever you're doing, whatever problem you're doing. They don't make it easy, right? So they'll have the wrong answer there on purpose because they know you didn't check units. And so I remember when I was going through the PE exam and the E.I.T, there was times that I forgot to check units and I'd get the wrong answer, and I'd go back and I'd look at the problem again, resolve it. And obviously they're going to have the wrong answer there because they want to throw you off. So I think as long as you tab your material, you spend the time, you do practice problems, and you check your units, you'll be in pretty good shape.
I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. You all work for such great and different companies. Oh, sorry, I missed one. What is something about the professional engineering industry that students might be surprised by?
I think the amount of emails that we write. I'm not kidding. There are so many emails coordinating with project team members and our clients. And I had no understanding of how important email writing was.
I think something relevant to our Zoom meeting today, this is definitely COVID related, but the engineering world is, the technical side is one thing, but really I was kind of surprised with how casual things are and how face-to-face in person. I've been trying to and going after work and doing interviews through Zoom and doing all this. And I was so nervous when I first started doing them a few years ago. They're really a lot more casual than I had expected. I thought it was going to be button up and answering technical questions. Now, some clients are like that. You get the Orange Counties and the big dogs of the world, the public works, where they really are, but some are very casual and they just want to know about your firm and yourself and your work tendencies. And, you're a competent firm who's done work like this in the past. So a lot of times you've already shown your qualifications. But really, yeah, the person to person, the face to face, what's the right word? It just shocked me how casual and more low key it was. We're still got to be on point, but still, the personableness of it really surprised me.
Yeah, I agree with Brian and Natalie. I think it's a relationship-based industry, and really you want to work with your friends and people that you get along with at the end of the day, and just try to promote that environment. Don't be so stuffy. Keep it casual when you can, right? I mean, those are just fun things to do. That's what surprised me about the industry, and then just communication. Not only emails, but if you can learn to write well as a technical writer and try to break things down is just as layman as possible. You have to write, at least on the transportation side, we have to write reports all the time, and you don't realize how much report writing you have to do. So just keeping your technical or your communication skills really on point is really important. So.
I would definitely agree with everybody as far as that goes. For me personally, definitely the writing is a big deal to me. I never assumed that I would write this much. I've probably written more in the last 2 years than I think I wrote probably the last 10 years before this. Definitely technical aspects, but also knowing to spell check your stuff is a big deal. Because at certain points, if you're sending emails and they're just like misspelled to clients and things like that, it definitely looks differently when that client responds back. So for sure.
Cool. So another question that came in is, you all work for such great and different companies. What's something unique at your work that keeps you there? And I know, Brian, maybe if you wanted to go ahead and start. I know SWT has a unique work environment over there.
Yeah, we're very unique. We're a small company. We're actually up to about 17 employees now. So I really do, and again, I don't know anything else. So I'm very partial to what I've done in the past. But I really do favor a small company. We're a very small, effective unit. I work in solid waste management. So even though we're small, we're a huge player in our industry. We compete with HDRs and such, but most solid waste firms, solid waste divisions of the bigger firms are smaller than us. So though we're a small company, we're really an effective team, and there's just not much red tape at all. I do anything and everything, and I fix toilets at my office, and I design groundwater protection systems, and anything in between. I don't care what it is, and I think it is really unique. And I'll do anything. I don't care. They're paying me. I will. Again, that's why I'll do the toilet work or the heavy design and the calculations, the hydrology, hydraulics, and things that I love.
For me, I think something unique that keeps me at my job is my boss. I mean, I love KPFF, but my boss, Danny, is just really supportive of me and the rest of our team. Like, for example, yesterday morning, I had to lead a kind of intimidating meeting with a bunch of different team members. And right as the meeting ended, I got a message from him saying, "You make my life easy. Thank you for the work you're doing. I appreciate you so much." And that was like all of the stress I felt the day before about collecting all the information for that meeting just was lifted because it was all worth it.
I would say for me, the most unique thing at our company is they try not to pigeonhole you into one specific area. So they, even though you might be an expert at it, they still try to get you a background in other avenues, whether it's drone topography, whether it's the planning side of things, due diligence reports. They want to make sure everybody has a hand in it, so that they at least know what it is and how to utilize it. Even though you may not do the entire thing, at least you understood that process of it. And that's something that they definitely pride themselves on, is being able to do that, to move people around, to try new things. Even if you absolutely like something, then they'll keep putting you back on it. But otherwise, they try to venture you out so you have better opportunities, so that you're not disliking your job at all. So.
Yeah, and for me at Mark Thomas, we're about 270 employees, so we're not quite a very large firm. We're not quite a small firm. We're right there in the middle, right? It's what we define as a mid-sized firm. One of the things that or a couple things that I really like about it, not only is it the work environment, the people that I work with, but it's also that, you know, we're small enough to not have a bunch of red tape to go through, like an AECOM or a Jacobs or any of those. You know, we can get things done quickly and efficiently, but then there's also the support and resources that you would need. So like, you know, I don't get pigeonholed into the type of work that I'm doing. I get to do a lot of everything, but then I also know that if I don't know something, I've got a resource above me, or somewhere in the company, someone somewhere in the company can help me with what I'm struggling with, right? The other really cool thing is, you know, I'm on a first name basis with the president of the company. Not many people can say that when they work for a large company, right? And I mean, the fact is that you get the interaction and environment to know who the president is, know who the principals are. I personally really enjoy that. You know, I get to joke around with the president of the company. I called him grandpa once as a joke. I mean, just things like that, you know, like that environment, that fun culture is what I really like about Mark Thomas, is that we've got a great culture. We're ahead of the trend. You know, before even COVID started, we had given all of our interns and engineers laptops. We scrapped everybody's desktops. So as soon as COVID hit, we were already using Teams. So, you know, we were up and running. We shut down our offices on Friday. We were up and running on Monday, which was just unheard of. And I heard, you know, people along the industry, around the industry, were like, "Oh, we're struggling to buy laptops for all of our team. We're doing this, we're doing that," and we're like, "We're up and running. We're good." Like, you know, what else can we do? So it was pretty nice being at a small company like Mark Thomas, that we've got a lot of opportunities like that. They're very forward thinking. So.
Thank you all for your insight. Sorry. So we will have to wrap up the panel, at least for now. We'll go ahead and finish the rest of the slides, do a group picture, and then just for those who don't have class at 1, if you want to stay, and if the panelists are fine with allocating a little bit more of their time for maybe like several more questions, we'd love to have you. So we'll go ahead and finish the rest of the slides up. Colby?
Perfect. Thank you, Marin, and thank you to all of our panelists. Your responses were very insightful, and hopefully we can still ask more a little bit later. But once again, thank you. Next slide. So before you all leave, make sure to stay connected with us. These are all of our social media pages. We just posted our Fall 2020 newsletter on our LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, so make sure to check that out. Next slide, please. And our next general meeting will be Thursday, March 4th at U-Hour with the same Zoom ID, and we will be having a diversity, equity, and inclusion panel. And without further ado, if everyone can turn on their cameras, don't be shy. If you don't feel comfortable, that's okay too. But we want to do a quick group photo / screenshot before we all leave. And again, if you can stay and you don't have class at 1, feel free to ask our panelists more questions. So, all right, I will count us down. Because there's a lot of us, we'll take 3. Okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then last one. 1, 2,